This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. So today we will start off with practical implementations of the e-way bill that we were discussing in the last class. So before we start, does anyone have any doubts regarding the e-way bill concepts and e-invoicing concepts that we had discussed in the previous class? Shall we go to the practical part of it? So if anyone have any doubts, or if anyone are not able to, open the applications, or if you have lost the company, just tell me. Okay. So yeah. So today we will see how to, add all the informations and generate a e-way bill through Tally. Okay. Yeah. So please let me know. Can all of you see the screen? Fine. So if you remember, this is the company that we were using all these days to record all the GST related transactions. Oh no, this is not the company. Let me just check. So this is the company in which we were recording all the GST related transactions. So you can see that this is all the GST related transactions. So we had recorded intra-state purchase and sales transaction and your purchase return and sales return. And similarly, we had recorded interstate sales and purchase transaction. Then after we record all the transactions, the last transaction was the tax payment to the government. Okay. So till there we had discussed. So regarding this, also if you have any doubts in any of the transactions, you can please let me know. So today we will see how to upload our e-way bill details in Tally. So before we do that, if you remember in the beginning of the GST session, while we were creating a company and while we were defining the features, here, okay, press F11 to get the company features screen. Here, under this option, taxation which says enable goods and services tax, we enable this option and after we pressed enter, we were taken to the GST registration details screen where we provided the state, the registration type, the okay. The, I've not set any permission. They can join. Let me just check. Okay, now I can see some of them joining. Are they able to join now? I've not locked the meeting. The link which was sent to you in the WhatsApp group recently. Please use that particular link to join the meeting. Are they able to join now? Okay, fine. So yeah, let us continue. So as I was explaining to you, so what you have to do here is press F11. Okay, from gateway of Tally, press F11 to get your company features screen. And here under taxation, we have an option which is enable goods and services tax. So when we enabled this, we were taken to a different screen where we had the registration details. Okay, where we provided the state name, the registration type, the GST number, and all the registration details. And here you can see that you have an option which says e-invoicing details. Okay, so what I will do is I will enable this e-invoicing option. Okay, and applicable from it is 1st April 23, that means from the beginning of the financial year. Then invoice bill from place, so this will be Bangalore. Okay, so this is how you can activate your e-invoicing, and similarly, your e-way bill will by default it will be activated. If you want to, if it's not activated, make sure that you enable this. Keep this option as yes, which says e-way bill applicable, and then you have the applicable from date, and the third option here which says applicable for intrastate. You can keep that also as yes. Okay, so whether your e-way bill will be applicable if the transportation is happening within the same state, so in that case you can keep the option here as yes. Okay, so I hope all of you are able to get these options. If you are not getting these two options, e-invoicing details and e-way bill, press F12, which is your configure option, and try to see whether whether you have any option to enable them. Okay, so by default you will have these two options in your registration screen. Yeah, so this is how you are supposed to fill in the details for your e-invoice and e-way bill, and then press Ctrl A to accept the screen. Okay, now here I'll get a message which says that GST related changes in master may impact the GST status of vouchers in return. That means here I'm making some changes after recording a few transactions. So it's telling me that it might affect the reports as well. So what we will do is here we have an option which says you accept masters and update the GST status of vouchers. So what it will do is after it makes all the changes, automatically it will also update your GST reports. So press this second option here. Select the second option which says you can either click on this or you can simply press U on the keyboard. Okay, and after that press Ctrl A once again to accept the features. So did you all follow with me? So yeah, if you have any doubts, you can tell me. I will show that once again. So now with this, let us record one sales transaction and we will see how to generate a e-way bill. Okay, so let me select F8 sales. Make sure that you are in item invoice. So if you want to change the mode, press Ctrl H, change mode, and here you can change between different modes. So because we have a stock item involved in our transaction, I will select item invoice. uh, if you have also created these ledgers along with me while you are practicing, so I will select lens card Tamil Nadu because this is a interstate transaction. Okay, from one state to another state, and lens card Tamil Nadu, it's a debtor. Okay, because we are selling, right? So I'll press Control Enter. Press Control Enter to go to the alteration screen. Okay, it seems that I cannot go to the alteration screen here by pressing Control Enter. So in that case, what you can do is press this option, go to alt G. Okay, select this, go to alter master and check who is your debtor. Okay, so go to ledger. So let me 1 minute. Yeah, so select Lenskart Tamil Nadu. So as you can see that Lenskart Tamil Nadu is our debtor. Okay, and you can see I've given configured the location here, Tamil Nadu, and I've given a registration number as well. Okay, so if you have followed all the transactions that we have recorded in the previous sessions, you will have this ledger. If not, you can create one debtors. Okay, you can create a party ledger under sundry debtors, and you can change the location because this is a interstate transaction. Okay, we are supplying the goods or we are selling the goods to this party who belongs to a different state. Okay, so you can create a ledger if you don't have a party ledger. Okay, this is how you can create a ledger. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this particular screen. Okay, so now that I will select Lenskart Tamil Nadu in the party name field. I'll skip all the details here. Then I will select sales account. Let me change the date. Okay, I will record this transaction in a different date. So in order to change the date, you have an option here which says F2 date. Okay, so select this and you can change the voucher date. And remember, in tally educational mode you can only use three dates: first, second and 31st of a month. So here I will use 1st of December. So I'll select a stock item, spectacles. And by the way, did we discuss this transaction where we recorded the supply of goods inclusive of tax? Did we do that? Can anyone tell me? Did I explain how to record transactions which are inclusive of tax? Yes, no? Fine. Maybe I have not taught you this option, which is rate inclusive of tax. So I will. This is one more simple concept. So we will discuss that as well. So here I have selected the stock item. Now I will select quantity. The rate would be 1200. And now you can see that my total invoice value or the total amount here is 60,000 rupees. So in the last class when we were discussing about the theory part of e-way bill, so I was explaining you that threshold limit for interstate transactions is 50,000 rupees. So if your invoice value is more than 50,000 rupees, it is mandatory for you to generate a e-way bill. Okay, so then press enter. Then in the list of actions, select as per master or company and same for your HSN code. Then again press enter to come out of your stock item. Then select IGST. Okay, this is interstate transaction, so that is why IGST is applicable. Okay, so till here, is it clear for everyone? So select your IGST. So your IGST will have to be calculated automatically. Okay. If it's not getting calculated automatically, that means you have gone somewhere wrong while defining some of the options. Okay. So if you want to reconfirm at what percentage it is being calculated, you can press Alt A, which is your GST tax analysis screen, and then press Alt F1 for detailed view. Okay. So here you can see that at 12% on 60,000 it is being calculated. Okay, then after that press enter, and now very very important, here we have an option which says provide GST slash e-way bill slash e-invoicing details. Okay, so what I will do, I'll make this option as yes, and as soon as I do that I will be taken to the e-way component screen. Okay, so in the last class, if you remember, I was explaining you that e-way bill will have two important components, part A and part B. So this is your part A, okay, wherein you have consigner details and consignee details. Okay, these are your part A, and below that you can see you have transport details. So this is all your part B section. So now we will fill in all the details. Okay, so first we have the consigner details. Okay, consigner details means this is the person who is delivering the goods. Okay, who's supplying the goods. So this is the address of that particular company. So if you remember, while creating this company, this is how we gave the address. So that is why it's taking this particular address. So as of now, because this is just an example, I will not specify the address here, so let it be Jayanagar itself. But very very important is the pin code. So without a pin code you cannot generate a e-way bill, so it is mandatory to provide a pin code. So you can provide a pin code, then place, I'll give it as Bangalore. Then actual state is Karnataka. Then similarly, we will do consignee details here. See, consignee details also you can see that there is no address provided here. Why is there no address? Because when we were creating this ledger Lenskart Tamil Nadu, we did not give any address over there. That is why you can see that here the address is blank. If we would have given any address to this particular party during the ledger creation, the address would have been automatically captured here. Okay, so here what I will do is I will just give a random address. Okay, so I've given a random address, and again it is very important to provide the pin code of the place of delivery also. Okay, so let me just check the pin code. Okay, so I've given a random pin code here. So it's not a random pin code. This is Chennai's pin code. Okay, then select the place and done. So this is how you are supposed to provide the details here. First you have the consigner details and consignee details. Okay, consigner details is the details of the person who is supplying the goods, and consignee details is the details of the person who is receiving the goods. Okay, so till here, is it clear for everyone? Do you want me to repeat any of the options or any of the fields? Are you all understanding? Okay, so we will move on. Now here we have an option which says pin to pin distance as per portal. So if you remember, when I was explaining you in the last class, I had mentioned that it is mandatory for us to provide the approximate distance that will be traveled in the transportation. Okay, so here we must calculate the approximate distance between the place of supply and place of delivery. Okay, so in order to do that, we have an option here on the right hand side which says calculate distance on portal. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll click on this option. As soon as I do that, I'll be taken to the eBay bill website. Okay, this is the official eBay bill website. So this particular page that you can see here, this is to calculate or to measure the distance traveled between the two different states. So what I will do is, here you can see that first I have dispatch from pin code. That means this is the place of supply pin code. So I will provide the place of supply pin code here, and then you have ship to pin code. Okay, so this is the place where they are sending the goods, so we have to provide the pin code of that as well here. And after that, I have to enter the captcha that has which is here, and I'll click on go. So here you can see it has given me the approximate distance between the pin code 560011 and 600001 is 348 kilometers. Okay, so this is the approximate distance between these two locations. So once when you find out the approximate distance, you can close this website, and then here you can provide that 348. Okay, so this is how you are supposed to provide the details of your part B. Now here the transporter name, that means if you have taken any transportation agency, if you have hired them to transport the goods, so you have to mention even their details here. So first I will mention the transporter name. So I don't have any transporter name, so I'll create a new one. So click on this option new and provide the name. Okay, so this is how you can provide a name for the transporter. And next you have transporter ID. Transporter ID is the GST registration number of the transporter. Okay, so you have to provide even the GST number. Okay, so this is the GST registration number. And after that you have to provide the part B basic details. So if you remember, I was explaining that you have the flexibility to only give the part A details, okay, and later you can submit the part B details also. So you have that option, but because we are taking an example here, so I will even provide the part B details also. So the mode of transport will be road. Okay, and then vehicle number, so I have to provide the vehicle number also. Okay, so this is the vehicle number. So I've given a random number here. Okay, and then I have to select the vehicle type. So as you know that if you're transporting to road, you will have two types of vehicles, that is over dimensional cargo and your regular one. Okay, so over-dimensional cargo means these are lorries which you carry, bulky goods or very large amount of goods. Okay, so they are very big in size, and regular ones are the normal lorries which carries smaller goods. So these are the two different vehicles that we have. So remember this. In the last class, I was telling you the validity of the e-way bill. So I was telling the validity, right? So for every 200 kilometers the e-way bill validity will be 1 day. That is for a regular vehicle. What if it is a over dimensional cargo? So if it is a over dimensional cargo, for every 20 kilometers the validity of your e-way bill will be 1 day. Okay, so for regular it is 200 kilometers, and for your over dimensional cargo it is 20 kilometers. So remember this. Okay, So I will select regular here, and then I have to select the place of the party. So these are all the party details, that is the bill to place and ship to place. So bill to place and ship to place both will be Chennai. Okay, press enter, and that's it. So this is how you are supposed to provide the e-way bill details. So any doubts, or did you not follow any of the points? Do you want me to show you or explain any one of the points? So what I'll do is I'll show it to you once again. So you can take a screenshot of this particular screen as a reference for you to practice. Okay, and after you fill in all the details, press Ctrl A, and then you will have the place of party, that is bill to place and ship to place, both will be the same, Chennai. And then after you fill in this, you can accept this also. So did you all understand what we were trying to do here? I want all of you to react at least. Okay, so after you provide the details, we will now accept the transaction. So you'll get a new reference. Okay, and after I accept my transaction, I will get a message. Okay, now here in that message it says, do you want to send voucher details for e-invoice and e-way generation? So what I will do, I will click on yes, I want to send this. Okay, now it is giving me some warning here. So we will see what is this. Mandatory information for e-invoice or e-way bill is not specified or invalid. So to update the relevant details, press Alt G, e-invoice and certain transaction. Okay. So what is happening here is, maybe when we were recording, I mean giving the informations, we might have given some invalid informations, or we might have not given some informations. We have not specified. So that is why I'm not able to generate it here. So let us rectify that. So in order to, if you find such errors like this, I will tell you how to rectify this. Okay, in order to rectify this, what we have to do is, we have to press Alt G. Okay, Alt G is the shortcut key for go to option here. You can see on the top right. So select this and search for e invoice. Okay, select for e-invoice, you will get the option here, and go to this e-invoice. And you can see that there is one particular uncertain transaction here. Okay, so you can see this. It is telling me what is the error that has been generated. Information required for e-invoice is not provided. Okay, so we will provide it. So you can see that there you have a count also. That means there is one error. So this is exactly similar to your GST uncertain transaction rectification. So if you remember, we have also rectified some errors while we were recording GST transactions in the GST reports. So this is also similar to that. So now I'll select this. Okay. And what I have to do, again, I have to press enter. So now it will tell me all the required details here that I have not mentioned. So what I will do, I will once again mention this. So next, this is the first thing, that is, pin code of bill from and pin code of dispatch from. So bill from is the place where we are supplying. So it is the place of supply pin code, and pin code is the dispatch from. So you can keep both of them same, but here I'll explain what is the difference between these two options, which is bill from and dispatch from. See, our company is the one who is sending in the goods, or the transporting the goods. So we are doing it. So this is the pin code of my company. Okay, so from my company, I'm generating the sales invoice. But here we have the second option, which says dispatch from. So this need not have to be my company only. In our case, what have we done? We have hired a transport agency. So that transport agency, what it will do, it will come, it will collect the stock items from me, and it will transport the goods. So this dispatch from pin code should be provided of the place where actually the stock items are leaving. Okay, so you can provide the pin code of the dispatcher here or the transporter here. So did you all understand the difference between bill from and dispatch from a field? Okay, so now here I will have to provide the pin code of the place from where the goods are being dispatched. So it can be the same or you can keep it different also. Okay, next we have the address. That means this is the consignee address. So I will provide just Chennai here. You can provide a lengthy address if you want to. And then what we will do is we will provide the pin code as well. So this is the pin code of Chennai. Okay. Yeah, so this is the pin code of Chennai. So this is the informations that we had not mentioned. So that is why I was not able to generate my e-way bill and e-invoice. Then after this vehicle number, so for my vehicle number, it says vehicle number is not specified or invalid. So it is actually specified. That means this is invalid. So maybe I should have not given the dash here. So what I'll do without giving a dash, I will write the vehicle number. Okay, so like this I can rectify the errors that has been generated. Okay, so this is how you can find out where or what information you have not given and you can rectify them. Okay, and after that accept the screen. So you can see that now I don't have any errors here. So okay, no, there is one more error for INR generation. So there is one more error here. Let us find out what it is. Okay, it has taken me back to the transaction here. Okay, let me see this. Yes. Okay. So yeah, there was no errors. So the only last part here is now after you rectified the error, what we have to do is we have to generate the e-way bill, right? So now I will show you. So after you finish rectifying all the errors, so again you can come to daybook here. So in the daybook you will find the sales transactions that you have recorded. So for this we have not generated a e-way bill because there was an error. Now that we have rectified the error, we will come back and again what we will do is we will come to the last option here which says provide GST slash e-way bill slash e-invoice details. So I'll click on this and I'll make this yes once again. So the details will remain there. Okay, you need not have to once again provide it. So what we will do is I'll just press enter and I'll come to the last option. Okay, and after that I will accept it. So again, I will get this message here which says, do you want to send the voucher details for e-invoice and e-way bill? So here what will I do is, if I click on S now, if there are no errors, the generation part will start. Okay, if there are errors, again it will give me a warning, like how it did the last time. So now let us check. Okay, so now it has not generated any errors. There were no errors, but still I have an option here which says you need a valid license to perform this activity. So if you remember in the last class, I was telling you that I cannot practically show you this because for this you require a license. And even if you have a license, you cannot do this practically because the company itself that we are using is a dummy company. It's not a registered company. There is no proper GST number for the company. So, but if you are actually doing it in a real company or if you are working on a real company, then this is the steps that you have to follow in order to perform the e-way bill generation. So I hope all of you are clear with the e-waybill concepts, e-waybill and both your e-invoice. So is there any doubts? So did you all can you repeat the rectification? Okay, I will repeat the rectification part. I cannot show you because I've already rectified that. So once again, I'll not be able to show you that. If you tell me where you are, I can guide you to that. Where exactly are you, Sushmita? Okay, did you provide the e-way bill details? Okay, fine. After that, is it giving you a warning after you record the transaction? Okay. So now what you have to do is from there itself, press enter and then select the Alt G option that you can see on the top, which says go to. Can you see there? Click on that. Okay. And after you do that, search for e-invoice. Okay. You will find it here under GST reports. You'll find e-invoice. Select that. Okay. And after you do that, you will have the error displaying here. It will tell you what is the error. Is it showing you the error with some message? Is it showing or is it not showing? It's showing for IRN generation, only that much. That means, see, this is a different error. Okay, this is a error that will be generated. This error is generated because we were not able to, actually practically upload the e-way bill as well as the e-invoice to the portal, right? So that is why we are getting this error. So this error, if you are getting, it's fine. It's not an issue. But here you should get this option. Wait, I'll tell you. So when you record the sales transaction, right? So once you finish recording the sales transaction, when you get a message like this, which says, "Do you want to send the voucher details for e-invoice and e-way bill?" And once if you press enter, you should get an option like this, which says you need a valid license to perform this activity. If you are getting this option, means that it means that there are no errors. You have properly recorded all the informations. If you're not getting this part and if you're getting a warning, so this is a error message. Warning message is different, error message is different. If you're getting a warning message, then you need to rectify that. If you are getting this option which says you need a valid license to perform this activity, it means you have properly recorded the transactions, you have given all the required details, you have rectified everything properly. So did anyone get this part here? You need a valid license to perform this activity. Any one of you? Nobody got this option. Okay, fine. So what I will do here is I will show you this once again. So please pay attention now so that you can understand now. So what I will do here is in the eBay. So here, at least till here, it is clear, right? This is the like the normal transaction where we give the party name, the sales account, the stock item, and IGST. Okay, IGST because this is a interstate transaction. Fine. So after that, here we have an option which says provide GST e-way bill e-invoicing details. So what I will do is I have to enable this option. I'll make this as yes. So I'll have to come to the e-way bill details screen. So in your e-way bill, you will have two components, part A and part B. So in your part A, you will have consignor details and consignee details. And similarly in part B, you will have all the transportation related details. Okay. So now what I will do is, you can see that I have given the information here. So this is the consignor address, this is the pin code, and similarly I have given the consignee details, is address, is pin code. So you can provide all the basic informations like this, and it is very important that you give proper pin code. Now what I will do is, to show you how to rectify the error, I will give a wrong pin code so that it generates a error to me. Okay, I've given a wrong pin code there, and then we will provide the approximate distance between the place of supply and place of delivery. So in order to find out this approximate distance, you should go to this option, calculate distance on portal. So if you click on this, you will be taken to the e-way bill portal, wherein you can find out the distance. Okay, and after that we will have to provide the transporter name. That means this is the transporting agency that we have hired to transport the goods. So for us to provide the transporter name, click on this option new and provide the name of the transporter. Okay, and in the transporter ID field, you have to give the GST registration number of the transporter, whoever it is, right? So you have to provide the details here, and then select the mode of transport. So it is road, and then vehicle number. So again, for vehicle number also I will give a wrong format so that I can show you how to rectify the error. Okay, and after that vehicle type, you can select regular or your over dimensional cargo. So in this case I'll select regular. Okay, then bill to place and ship to place. Okay, this is the field wherein we have to provide the place where we are providing the sales invoice or sending the sales invoice, and where we are sending the goods. So both are Chennai. So I will select these, and then I will accept the transaction. As soon as I do that, I will get an option here which says, do you want to send voucher details for e-invoicing and e-way bill? So now you can see that I'm getting a warning here. So from here, pay attention. I will show you how to rectify the errors if you generate a error. So it says mandatory information for e-invoice or e-way bill is not specified, or it is invalid. So in such cases, what am I supposed to do? What you can do is press enter, and after that press alt G. Okay, select alt G, that is the go to option here, and search for e-invoice. So we will get this under GST reports. Click on this. So you can see that I'm getting a option here which says information required for e-invoice not provided, or it is invalid. So I'll select this, I'll press enter. Okay, and after that it will tell me for which transaction is there a error. So it is for this transaction. Okay, and below that you can see a note, press enter on a line item to drill down and resolve the exceptions. That means press enter so that you can go deep inside the transaction, wherein it will automatically tell you where the error is, and you just have to find out and rectify that. So now once again I'll press enter. So now you can see that here it is giving me a error. So what is the error here? Vehicle number is not specified, or it is invalid. Okay, so this is one error. So what I will do is I'll rectify this. So I'll give the proper vehicle number. I'll press enter, and I'll accept this. Now you can see that the error has been rectified. So this one you can ignore this error which says for IRN generation. So you can ignore this. And now let us go back to the transaction and re-record this. Okay. So what I will do is, once again I'll click on this provide GST details. I click on yes. I will accept this. Now if I try to re-record, let us see what will happen. So now it's telling me you need a valid license to perform this activity. That means you can see that if you are getting this part, it means you have done everything properly. But only thing is, in order to move further from here, I cannot, because this is not a licensed version, this is educational mode. So now I hope all of you are clear with the concept of rectifying the e-way bill errors. Okay, fine. So yeah, if you still find anything, if you're getting confused somewhere, if you're not getting any options, if you're stuck somewhere in your, if you're following along with me, you can tell and you can get it clarified now itself. Okay. So now after this, after your e-way bill, so today now we will discuss a new topic, that is purchase from composition dealer and purchase from your unregistered dealer. Okay, so we will have to record these two transactions. So I will explain. So now first one, that is your purchase from composition dealer. So I believe all of you are aware with what is composition scheme. So in one of our classes, I explained you that there are two types of registration that takes place. One is regular registration, and the second one is composition registration. Okay, so I will explain once again the composition scheme part here. So if you want to take registration under composition scheme, first criteria is, and the most important one is, your annual turnover should be less than 1.5 crores. Okay, it should not be more than that. That is one criteria here. The next criterias are, the person or the business who has taken composition scheme cannot supply anything. Okay, they are only meant for goods, they are not meant for services. Okay, you can see that supply of services, they are not supposed to engage in services business. Okay, they're only supposed to engage in goods related business. But here there is there is some concession here for food and alcohol supply. Okay, for food and alcohol supply, they can take composition scheme, but other than that they cannot go for any other services. So this is one criteria. Okay, and the second criteria is that the composition scheme, that means if you want to take composition scheme, you should not be a e-commerce operator. Okay, so if you're an e-commerce operator, you cannot go for composition scheme. Okay, and here there is one more note, and the last and the most important criteria is interstate outward supplies. That means if you are selling something outside the state, if you are having interstate transactions, you cannot take up composition scheme. So only if you fulfill these criteria, you will be able to take up composition scheme. Okay, and after that, what are some characters of this composition scheme here is, they cannot collect tax from the customers. So remember this. So people who have taken registration under composition scheme, they cannot collect tax from customers, or they cannot collect any tax when they are selling the goods. Okay, so if you visit any shops and if you find that in their board it is written under composition scheme, they will not be collecting any tax amount from you. And here we have another option which says cannot claim input tax credit. So even composition dealers, they cannot claim the ITC. Okay, and then how will they, if they are not collecting tax, then how exactly are they paying the taxes to the government? I told you that composition dealers cannot collect tax from the customers, but they have taken registration under GST. Then what's the point of taking registration under GST if they are not collecting tax from the customers? So yes, it is true that they will not collect tax from the customers, but it does not mean that they are not going to pay the GST also. They will have to pay the GST to the government, but at some predefined fixed rates. Okay, so here you can see the rate of tax. So for a manufacturer, it is 1%, for a trader, it is 1%, and for a supplier of food or human consumption it is 5%. Okay, so if you go to all the most of the hotels, okay, so usually you will find that the tax that GST that they charge is 5%. So that is they are supposed to pay that 5% back to the government. So on their annual turnover, okay, on their annual turnover, whatever it is, they will pay the tax amount in this particular prescribed rate. So this is about composition dealer. So if we are purchasing from a composition dealer, we will not pay any tax because he's not going to, collect any tax from us. So if we are recording, if we want to record a transaction where we are purchasing from composition scheme, now we will see how to do that. Okay. So I hope all of you are clear with who is a composition dealer and what are the criterias, which has to be followed to get composition scheme. So is it fine? Do you want me to repeat it once again? Did you all understand? Okay. So now let us record a purchase transaction. So before I record a purchase transaction, I will create some ledgers. So I'll go to create ledger and let me create one party here. So because we are purchasing from this party, he will be a creditor. So sundry creditors. Okay, let the state be Karnataka because this is a intrastate transaction. And now, very important, under the registration type, what you have to do is he is not a regular dealer. Okay, this particular party ABC Enterprise is a composite dealer. So what I will select? I will select this composition registration type, and then I will provide a GST number also. So after giving the GST number, you can accept the screen. So make sure when you're creating a party here, you have to give the registration type as composition, not regular. Okay. So after you do that, press enter and accept the screen. So now let us record a purchase transaction. So go to vouchers, press F9 purchase. So let this be in the same item invoice. Give a random invoice number. So I've given a random number. You can give whatever you want to. And here I will select the party name, which is ABC Enterprise. Okay. And then purchase ledger. And after that, select the stock item. So I'll select this particular stock item. Okay. So now this is how you are supposed to record. So we will not mention any tax here, CGST, SGST, because I told you, right? If the composite dealer is not supposed to collect tax from us, so we will not provide. So even if I try to provide here, you can see that it will not calculate CGST, and even if I try SGST also, you can see that it will not calculate because in this transaction we are not supposed to pay any tax. So it is of no use even if you mention CGST and SGST. Okay, so no e-way bill as well, and record the transaction. So this was, a very pretty simple transaction. The only thing is when you are creating the party, make sure that the registration type is as composition. That's the only thing which you have to remember here. Okay, so this was one small concept of how to purchase from composition dealer. Now, after that, there is one more important concept, that is how to add inclusive of tax in the sales voucher that we record. So, if you are recording something and if you want to add the value of the stock item including tax, so far, how were we recording the transactions? So, I will just show you one sales transaction. So you can see this particular sales transaction here. So here, first I will select the stock item and then I will provide the quantity and the rate. So rate, you can see that I have given 1200. Okay, so 1200 into 50 is 60,000 rupees. So this is the total, value of this particular stock item. On this, what is happening? Additionally, tax is being calculated. That is 7,200. That is your IGST. Okay, so this is not including tax. The 60,000 that you can see, right, this is excluding tax. But what if I want my final amount to be inclusive of tax? Okay, including tax, I want to have my final amount. So now I will show you how to record the transaction. So once again, from gateway of tally, go to vouchers. Okay, select sales voucher, then make sure that you are in the item invoice, that is press Ctrl H and select item invoice. Now very important, press F12. Okay, press F12, it will open the configuration screen, and here you have an option under tax details. Under tax details, you can see that we have an option which says provide rate inclusive of tax for stock items. Okay, so what will I do? I will enable this option. I'll make it as yes. And after that, I will accept the screen, Control A. And now I will again select a party. So I'll select GK Electronics. So if you remember, GK Electronics was a sundry debtor. Okay, then I will press Ctrl A, then I will select sales account, then press spacebar, select one stock item here. So I will, for the example sake, I'll just mention one here. And now here I have to provide the rate which is inclusive of tax. Okay, so including tax, the final value of this will be 30,000 rupees. Okay, suppose you can give any number. So if the value of this particular laptop is 30,000 rupees including tax, including your CGST and SGST, so you have to mention it here, rate inclusive of tax. Now you can see it will give me the actual rate. If 30,000 is inclusive of tax, 25,423 rupees is what? It is the actual price which is exclusive of tax. But here in the amount, you can see that still I am getting 25,423. This is not the final price. The final price is 30,000 rupees. So how is this working? So now what we will do? Now we will provide CGST and SGST. Okay, press spacebar, select CGST, and press spacebar and select SGST. Okay, it's giving me 2228, 2228, and now below that you can see that it is giving me the total bill value, 30,000 rupees. Okay, so did you all understand how to record inclusive of tax transactions? Do you want me to repeat this once again? Do you all understand this? Okay, so after that you can accept the transaction. So I will not provide any e-way bill here. Okay, so it is asking, do you want to generate e-invoice? As of now, I don't want to, so I'll press no. So this is how you can record your sales inclusive of tax. Okay, and now for today, the last concept that we will discuss is purchasing from a unregistered dealer. So we saw how to purchase from a registered dealer. We saw how to purchase from a regular dealer as well as composition dealer. Now we will see how can you record a transaction wherein you are purchasing some stock items from a person who is not registered under GST. Okay, so how to record such transactions? So again, this is also very simple. So what we will do is first we will create a party. Okay, so I'll go to create, I will go to ledger, and I will create a party. So I'll name this party as XYZ Enterprise. Okay, and in the mention, in the brackets, you can even mention that he is unregistered. So I will mention URD. URD means unregistered dealer. Okay, and because we are purchasing from this dealer, it will be sundry creditors. And now very important, here under registration type you must select the last option which says unregistered slash consumer. So because this person is unregistered dealer, so I will select unregistered here. So if he's unregistered, do you think he will have a GST number? No, because he has not taken registration under the GST department. So it is obvious that he will not even have a GST number. So no need to give any number here. Okay, and then we will accept this. So now let me record the purchase transaction. So let me go to vouchers, F9 purchase. Okay, let me give a invoice number. So for this I will mention invoice number. So now the party name is XYZ Enterprise. Okay, so this is the party name. Then select purchase ledger. Then select the stock item. Okay, ACS in book. So again, you can give the quantity here. Okay, and that's it. No need to provide CGST, SGST because he's unregistered. He cannot collect tax from me. So even if you give CGST and SGST and tax, you can see that it will not calculate here. So in this way, you can record the transactions from an unregistered dealer. Okay, so I'll click end of list here. The no need for any e-way bills and accept. Okay, so is it fine? Did you all understand? Okay, fine. Now, pay attention because this is an important concept. So now, what happened here is we have purchased something from a unregistered dealer. So unregistered dealer is not supposed to collect tax on from us, and we are also not going to pay many GST, CGST, SGST. We are not going to pay it to him. That is fine. That is how we have recorded transaction, and it is correct. But what are we purchasing? So did you all observe what we were purchasing? We were purchasing a laptop, Asus ZenBook. Now in India, is this particular laptop taxable or not taxable? It is very much taxable. 18% is what is being charged on it. So how can you purchase a taxable good and not pay tax on it? Okay, so it is illegal, right, to own something on which you are supposed to pay tax, but you are not paying tax on it. So that is illegal. So in our case also, this was a illegal transaction that wherein we purchased a stock item on which there is tax, but we are not paying any tax to the government. Why? Because we are purchasing it from an unregistered dealer. And it makes sense because unregistered dealer will not collect any tax. So what he will do? He will not even pay anything to the government. Because first in the first place it should be registered to all those things, is not registered. Now in that case, what can we do? So what we will do here is we will find out what is the taxable value on that particular stock item, and then what we will do is we are going to pay the tax amount directly to the government. Okay, So are you all understanding? So for the taxable good on which I'm supposed to pay tax, and if I've not paid tax on it, okay, so usually how will be paid the tax? So first, if you are purchasing something, you will pay the tax amount to the supplier or to the shop owner. That particular person will collect the tax from you and he will pay to the government. So it is happening through an indirect method. But here, because we are purchasing from an unregistered dealer and he is not collecting tax on us, so what we will do is, instead of giving it to him, we are ourselves directly paying the tax amount to the government. So this process where we collect, I mean, where we pay the tax amount directly to the government. So this process is called as reverse charge mechanism. Okay, so reverse charge mechanism means wherein you are paying the tax amount directly to the government. So did you all understand what is reverse charge mechanism? Do you want me to repeat what I said? I hope all of you have understood what I was trying to explain. Okay, you did not understand. Fine, I will explain it once again. You can see now, I will open the daybook here. So this is the transactions that we recorded. So XYZ is the supplier who is supplying me this laptop. Okay. So this is the supplier. So I have selected the supplier here, purchase account, everything is fine. Then I will have selected the stock item. Now what I will do is I will press Control Enter here so that I will go to the alteration screen. Now, here you can see that what does it say here? GST is applicable at what percent? 18%. Taxability type? Taxable. So this is a taxable good in India. Okay. If we are purchasing this, it is mandatory for us to pay tax on it. If you don't pay, that is considered as illegal. So if the IT department finds out and if they come, they can seize your stock items. How they will ask you, how can you use stock items without paying tax on it? So this is a taxable good in India. We are supposed to pay tax on it. But are we paying the tax here? Can you tell me, are we paying tax here on this particular purchase? No, we are not paying any tax here. Why are we not paying any tax here? Because we are purchasing this from a unregistered dealer. Unregistered dealer means this particular dealer has not taken registration under the GST department. He does not have a GST number. So he is not supposed to collect GST from us. So GST can be collected only from regular dealers. So he is not a regular dealer. He is not taken the registration under any scheme. So he will not collect tax from us. Okay. So he will only collect whatever the value of the laptop is and he will sell it to me. But in my case, I need to pay the tax because this is a taxable good in India. Even though if I'm not paying it to this particular XYZ enterprise, I still have to make the tax payment to the government. So what I'm doing here is, instead of paying the tax amount to XYZ enterprise, I'm directly paying the tax amount to the government. So when you are directly paying the tax amount to the government, that is called as reverse charge mechanism. Now here I will show you the tax analysis screen. Okay, here I have not enabled the option, so give me 1 minute, I will enable it. Okay, I will do one thing. I will re-record this transaction. Okay. So if you want to delete any transactions, okay, if you want to delete any transactions, go to daybook, select the transaction and press Alt D. Okay, so that will delete the transaction. Okay, now once again I will record the transaction, you will understand. Okay, before that let me see whether I have to make any changes. Okay, so now I will once again re-record this, so you give a random number here. Okay, and in the party name select the unregistered dealer. Okay, so it is XYZ Enterprise. And in the purchase ledger select purchase account, select the stock item, give the quantity, rate. Okay, and now if I try to collect CGST, I mean if I try to add CGST here, you can see it's not calculating automatically. Okay, why is it not calculating automatically? Because this particular person XYZ Enterprise cannot collect tax from us because it's unregistered. So you can see, even if I try SGST also, you can see that there is no amount being calculated on this. Okay, but now after this, if I press alt a is what? GST tax analysis screen. Okay, you can see that there is 9% and 9% being calculated here. Can you observe this? So this is the taxable good. I was telling you, right? Taxable good. So 9%, 9%, that is 2,700, 2,700. It is showing me here. That means on this particular laptop, this tax amount is what is being charged. But what is happening here is below that you have a note. Okay, read this. What does the note say here? Amount of tax subject to reverse charge. Okay, that means this value that you can see here 2070 and 2070, this is the total tax that I'm supposed to pay on the laptop that I'm purchasing. To whom should I pay? I should pay this directly to the government, not to the party. Party is unregistered, is not supposed to collect tax. So that is why I'm directly paying this 2070 rupees and 2000 CGST and SGST to the government. So when you are paying something directly to the government, it is called as reverse charge mechanism. That is why here you have a note which says amount of tax subject to reverse charge. I was not getting this option previously. Okay, why was I not getting this option is because in my stock item, I will tell you now what I did. Okay, in my stock item, okay, select the stock item, cases Zenbook, press Control Enter, it will take you to the alteration screen. And in the alteration screen of your stock item, that is your laptop, I will have to enable one option. What is that option is? Here you can see there is an option which says applicable for reverse charge. So what should I do? I must enable this option. I should make it as yes. If you are not getting this option, what should you do? Press F12. Press F12 and you can see that you have an option here under GST details which says enable reverse charge calculation. So this is kept as yes. So make sure you enable this one, press Ctrl A and make sure you even make the applicable for reverse charge also as yes. Okay, and then record the transaction and then press Alt A. You will find this amount of tax subject to reverse charge. So you should get this. If you are getting this, you are recording the transaction in the right way, or there is some error. Okay, so yeah, this is how to record the transactions from the unregistered dealer. And now I told you, right, that we are supposed to directly pay the tax amount on this laptop to the government. So in the next class we will see that how to directly pay the reverse charge amount to the government. So I hope all of you are clear with today's session, whatever we discussed. So before we still have 5 minutes. So before I end the meeting, if you have any doubts, get it clarified now itself. Yeah. So see, what is happening is because of some issues with our office account, we are not able to upload the recordings on time. So all the recordings will be sent to you as soon as possible. Okay. Fine. Other than that, any doubts? Yesterday, someone asked me about the crossover thing. Who was that? Somebody was asking me that their crossover is not working anymore because it has been expired. Okay. Is she not here? Let me 1 minute check. Who was that? Okay, is Ratnamai Nair here? Okay, fine. If any of the Mac users are finding any difficulty in using crossover, or if your crossover is expired, you can stay back. Okay, I will tell you a alternative for that. But other than that, if there are no doubts for any one of you, you can leave the meeting now. Thank you all. If you have any doubts, you can stay back. And if you are a Mac user and if you have any doubts in crossover, you can stay back. Others can leave.